Welcome back to Sports Talk ATL. I am Chase Earl, joined by Jake Gordon and Alex Lord. The trade deadline is quickly approaching. We've talked a lot about how the Braves don't need much. I don't think they need a starter with Max Fried and potentially Kyle Wright coming back. Offense obviously doesn't need anything. Best 1 through 9 in baseball. Maybe you grab a bench piece, a backup infielder, so you don't have Culverson on the roster, but we're not going to get into backup infield talk. But there is one thing. I would love another high-end reliever. Alex, you talked about that. I think that's the move. If you're going to do anything, I don't think you have to, but if you're going to do anything, and there's one guy, an old friend, kind of reminds me of the little Adam Duvall situation. You let him go. You kind of have a little like reverse buyer's remorse. You kind of wish you should have paid him. Kenley Jansen's been really good again. He's one of the best closers of all time. I really liked when we had Kenley. I know he gave us some heart attacks, but Kenley, Russell, AJ Minter, that 7-8-9 was dominant. I think that's the kind of guy you go after. He's up 2 miles per hour, full on his fastball and his cutter. And I think he would be a guy. I think the Red Sox, they talked about, a lot of people think they are going to sell. And if the Red Sox do end up selling, they're in last place, but they're 2 games out of the wild card. But listen, they're still in last place. They don't have the roster to compete. I think they're rebuilding. They know that. I think they sell. Kenley Jansen's going to be coveted by a lot of teams. That's a guy I would like the Braves to target.
Yeah, definitely. It's just kind of a weird situation. I don't know if it would mess up his rhythm to take him out of a closer role or anything. But yeah, you got to wonder. I don't know if he got in a little bit of better shape this offseason because of the pitch clock and everything. But yeah, he's been great. I'd love to have him back. I kind of always had a soft spot for him. I think at the beginning of the year, I was kind of like I kind of missed the guy just randomly, even though AJ Minter, it had nothing to do with AJ Minter struggling. But yeah.
The familiarity's there. I think he could just come in and assume the closer role. I feel like I remember some sort of report about Raciel Iglesias not caring what his role was when he first came to the Braves, that he would be a setup man. And I've talked about it extensively on here. Go check out the YouTube Sports Talk ATL. Having that 7-8-9 where you get to the 7th inning with a lead and you're just so comfortable. You just know your guys are going to go out there and pitch well. There's a solace in there that I love that, comfortability where you're like, we go into the 7-8-9 with a lead. We're going to win no matter what. I think that's got to be the goal. Even if it isn't Kenley Jansen, he would be great. And we would have him for the next year too, so it'd give you an elite bullpen for next season as well. If you do anything, you go get a high-powered arm. We have so many arms that we don't need anything but that closer-esque arm. We don't need another guy to stretch to middle reliever or anything like that. We've got plenty of those guys in excess. We have too many of those guys actually.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. That's my big issue is who do you get rid of if you do add somebody?
It's tough.
Well, I mean, there's a number of guys, but I think you just got to start trimming the fat. And all these guys, they're all going to get rings. They've all played a huge role, whether it's Michael Tonkin, Ben Heller, even Jesse Chavez. I mean, who knows how he's going to be when he comes back from injury. He still seems like he's pretty far away. And I know that sucks to say because I feel like he gets the short end of the stick every time. But if you have an opportunity to bring a guy in like Kenley Jansen, and listen, Raciel Iglesias, he's been solid this year. He's had his ups and downs, but he was a million times better as an 8-inning man. So if you get that Raciel Iglesias, maybe you take a little pressure off him. He's now an 8th-inning man, and he starts looking like he did last year. Now you're getting not only a big arm at the end, you're also getting a better version of Raciel Iglesias. AJ Minter can be utilized in a number of different ways. Maybe you're now using him when you get to the postseason in the 6th or 7th. Like both. Like now you got 4 innings covered with 4 of the best relievers in baseball. Jansen's been great this year. His ERA is around 3. That's a little higher than it should be. His FIP's around 3.05. But then you go look at his baseball savant page. It's just like 95th percentile and pretty much everything except for average exit velocity. He's still striking guys out. I already said the thing about his velocity. I just think it makes a lot of sense. Familiarity. $16 million a year over the next 2 years. You only pay him for the next 2 months this year and then $16 million next year. And I just look at this roster and you talk about free agent additions. You're basically making your free agent addition now. Go get Kenley Jansen. He's now your closer for next year. Your bullpen's elite. Your lineup doesn't need anything. Nobody's leaving in that lineup. It's elite. Nobody's leading your rotation. You're just going to keep developing guys and getting better in your rotation with Elder and Strider and Kyle Wright coming back healthy, Michael Soroka, AJ Smith-Shawver. Like, you're not going to need to get a rotation piece next offseason. To me, this is the move you need to make, not just for this year, but next year as well. And you can pretty much, I know it kind of sucks for us who write about the team because there's not going to be a lot of action for us to write about, but you're pretty much set, like for not just this year, next year as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I was about to say, we could write about Shohei Ohtani all off season long.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I will push the Shohei Ohtani narrative because maybe you trade Ozuna. He's had a pretty good year. Get that contract out of the books.
I want to bring that up. I saw somebody still say that we need to move Ozuna, and it's, what are we talking about? Like, what are we talking about?
Well, the only reason I think you potentially move him is if you're trying to go out there. I mean, like, hypothetically, if you were trying to make a move for Ohtani, you needed to clear $16 million off the books. Now he actually has a contract that's tradable. He's had a good season under his belt. He doesn't have as much, I think he only has one season left after this, or maybe two. Yeah, one season left. So he only has one season left. Like, that contract's now very movable. You clear that $16 million off the books, and then you get Ohtani, you have your DH. Like, you don't need Ozuna anymore, and you also have a starting pitcher. So it would have to be like to upgrade. It's just to upgrade. But yeah, like, if you're still talking about, we need to salary dump Ozuna at this point, like, dude, he's been an all-star since May. I mean, 917 OPS, one of the best hitters in baseball. So, and this is a Marcell Ozuna stan show. Like, we stan Ozuna, the big bear, the big boy. He's done great things for this team. Coming up after the break, Netflix premieres their series Quarterback, and Marcus Mariota is featured. We are going to talk about it.